Hello, ladies and gentlemen. I was requested to basically do a tutorial for streaming with OBS. This is probably going to be a multi-part tutorial. I will cover a lot of the things you need to do in order to get it set up streaming. The first thing we're going to do here is we're going to do a little kind of episode 0. These are the things you need to do before you can even start considering streaming. So, a lot of people will tell you that networking is the most important. Well, mostly. Before that, you need to understand that your hardware is going to hold you back more than your network. If you are running on a single core or even a low dual core processor, you're probably not going to be able to stream. You really do need a quad core or higher, and that would mean that you need 4 threads to work on or more. In this case, my computer has a 6700K which has 4 cores with hyperthreading, which means that it has 8 logical threads to work with, which is more than enough for streaming. The next thing you need to do is you need to figure out what games you're going to be streaming, and yes, the desktop is supposed to be basically frozen. You need to figure out what games you're going to be streaming. If you're going to be streaming something like a really high CPU intensive game, then you need to understand that it's going to be a little bit more difficult with lower level hardware. And you're going to have to turn down your settings. You're going to have to change some stuff in OBS in order to get that high CPU game to work with you. So once you've figured out what you want to stream and what hardware you have, and do some research and make sure that it's compatible and you can do your own testing and stuff like that, then you can start moving on to figuring out what your internet connection is going to be able to handle. Now, everyone can stream. I have people who are streaming at 15 FPS and 750 kilobytes up. Now, that doesn't sound like a lot, and honestly, it's not. But they're doing Hearthstone, which, for that game, works fine. So, a lot of people will tell you, go to speedtest.net, test your connection. Go to speedtest.net, test your connection. That actually isn't really accurate. See, the way that speedtest.net works is it brings you to the closest server in your region and then uses a multi-threaded, quote-unquote multi-threaded or multi-networked connection to that server. That is not how Twitch works. Twitch has a single RTMP connection that goes out from your computer to the Twitch ingest server. And single connections, that single pipe connection, can usually be throttled by your ISP or have their packets shaped in some manner, which doesn't always net you the same speed you may see under your speed test. So I'll leave a link to this this program in the description. What you're going to need to get is you're going to need to get twitchtest.exe. And then this little box will pop up. So what this is this is going to be your stream key. So in order to get to your stream key, I'm going to do this off screen. You need to first make sure that you have a Twitch account. And then you're going to want to go to your dashboard. So that would be twitch.tv/ your account name. In my case, it would be Mr. Arcanine. /dashboard. Once you get to that page, you'll see a little tab called Stream Key. You're going to click Show Key. Click I understand. And then it will show you the entirety of your stream key. Go ahead and highlight that. Hit Control-C to copy it. Now, this is all in Windows. Hit Control-C to copy it. And then you're going to go ahead and paste it in this box. Once you got that completed, we're going to go ahead and change the TCP window size to the same size as OBS, because that's the program we're going to be using to stream. We're going to take the test duration. We're going to set it to quick. If you need more accurate results, you can increase the amount of time it will send data to the server. And then we're going to check off the regions we are not in. So for me, I'm in the United States. If you're watching this from Europe or the UK or somewhere in Asia or somewhere like that, you're going to want to check off these ones and, check the ones that is your region. So we're going to click on United States. We're going to click Start. So theoretically speaking, I should have 17,000 up, because this is 17 megabyte, which is 17,000 kilobytes. But that is just simply not the case. Now, my ISP likes to throttle my internet pretty hard. So sometimes I'll see, like, less than 2,000 here, and sometimes I'll see 8,000. It's pretty hit or miss for me. Now, the important thing about this test is it actually tells you what you want to use for your connection speeds to Twitch. So this information is something we're going to use later, probably in the next episode, to put in a box for your bitrate. So this will basically be this is how much connection speed I'm getting to the server, so I should put my bitrate at about here. And you always want to do about 75% of the current connection speed you have to the server, so that way you have a little bit of room if in case it dips down. Their connection speed to the server dips down. So I'm going to go ahead and let this run. I'm only going to do to the closest server physically, which in my case would be New York. So if you're somebody who lives out in California or like Washington or like one of the, the western states in the country, you're going to have to wait until it gets all the way down to this region. But if you're on the eastern coast and you know that, say, like, you're in Florida and you know that Miami, Florida is going to be the closest physical connection to you, then you can just stop at Miami, Florida, because you know that no other connections past that point are going to be any faster or any better because they're farther away. So I'm just going to wait here. So I know that Chicago's pretty close, so I'm guessing that my New York speed is probably going to be like 2,200, 2,300, roughly. I'm going to talk about bit rates a little bit until it gets to my section. Honestly, anything 2,000 or over is going to be good for pretty much any game you want to play. It's going to look a little bit grainy and bitty and kind of bad if you're doing really fast first-person shooters like Overwatch or stuff like that. Usually Overwatch you want 3,000 or more. But really 2,000 is going to work for any, side-scrollers or anything like that. You could even go down as far as like 1,500 if you need to. Just check it on your own before you start advertising your stream and take a look and see how the quality of your stream is before you actually go out and start advertising it. You can do as many tests as you want and mess around with the bitrate to mess around with the quality, because you don't have any followers. You don't need to worry about somebody coming in and going like, hey, how's it going? And then replying like, yeah, I'm just testing for like the next hour. So, obviously test it out, but I'm going to say 2,000 is a comfortable everything speed. If you're just doing side scrollers or not a lot of information, you don't have a face cam, you're not using that type of heavy video connection or heavy video to Twitch, you can probably go down to 1,500 or 1,000 depending on what you're trying to stream. So we're actually going to stop here. You'll notice that I have 4,553 to this server, so I know that I'm all set to stream. And I could go out and get OBS and actually, start working up and getting the things ready to stream. So, this was episode 0. This is kind of the make sure your connection is good, make sure your hardware is good, everything you need to understand before you start streaming. And I will see you guys in the next episode, and we'll start actually getting into the nitty-gritty of streaming. So, see you in the next one. OBS, where are you?